Ian, just let me ask you, how shocked were you when you saw a T-shirt today?
I think everyone in that courtroom was shocked today. Yeah, that was something that was not expected, and something that I hope no one ever has to experience again.
What were your thoughts? I mean, how appalled were you, I guess, when you saw
Well,
that?
I understand there was a lot going on in the
Right.
courtroom. TJ was sitting to my left,
Yeah.
the family, the victims were to the right, prosecutors across the table, the media behind them with all the cameras, and then also the judge. Of course, most importantly, we have to address the issues of fact and law in the case. So there was a lot going on. It was, very draining, as all court hearings are. But this was especially emotional, and certainly with the families in there and being addressed the way they were, it was something that was very unusual.
Has this ever happened before in your history as an attorney? Any client acting like this in court?
Well, I've stood in a lot of emotional courts, but these specific acts and turning to the families of the deceased like that with a message similar to that, I've not seen that before.
With the shirt, was it ever crossed your mind? Tell him, cover it up, take it off, put on a different shirt.
Well, sure. I mean, the second everyone in the courtroom saw it, I mean, that was the first thought that we all had. But as the judge said, TJ had his right to speak, and TJ spoke. That's what he chose to say. And if people could have changed it, they certainly would have.
There was some talk that the judge may not have seen it,
Yeah.
the shirt. You think that's the case, that he didn't see it from where you were sitting?
Yeah, in dealing with Judge Fury over the past year, I thought he was a great judge through this case. I thought he was very professional. If he's saying that he didn't see it, I take him at his word. I have no reason to question that. And I later learned that some of the families in the back were unable to exactly read it. So that based and also based upon what the court said, at the end, that they did not recognize the shirt when the prosecutor gave a statement. I certainly accept Judge Fury at his word.
Can you give us an insight of what, if you had any conversation with TJ afterwards, or did they just take him right away?
Sure, the sheriff's office hailed him away right away, so no one was able to have any discussions with him thereafter.
Okay. And where do they take him? Where is he now?
So I would expect that he went back to the Geauga Safety Center. He'll be there until he's transferred to the Lorraine Correctional Institute.
Okay. The prosecutor hinted today that there might be a motive in the case. We haven't heard one at all. It's the first we've heard of this. Are you aware of any motive?
All that I can do is obviously I have to respect the attorney-client privilege. And so what I can discuss is what was presented in the courtroom. And unfortunately, there was no motive discussed, and people are going to have to sadly accept that.
Because obviously there's no remorse in TJ today. Over the course, since you've been his client, he's been your client, has he ever shown any remorse at all?
And again, that's something that I can't get into.
Yep. Would you ever take a case like this again? This type of case?
Well, let me say, I hope that there would, in an ideal world, I would hope that in an ideal world there would never be the need to represent such a case, but we know that's not the case. I would do it over again, and not because that I like the case. It is because it's this sort of case that needs lawyering. It's not the popular case that always needs the lawyering. It's not the popular defendant. It's the exact opposite. Because if you allow the law and the protections under the law to erode or not to be applied to a certain individual because of the heinous nature of their crime, then those laws are going to not be in place down the road potentially when there's someone who really needs them, someone possibly who was innocent. So it's these sorts of cases that you really do need to have the lawyering on.
Ian, when you took on this case, did you ever envision it ending the way it did? With the antics in court, what happened
I
today?
don't think anyone could have anticipated what occurred today.
Mm-hmm. And what about, I guess, when he flipped the bird and then, what he said verbally to that? I mean, as an attorney, how does it make you feel? I mean, sitting there, I imagine you're kind of helpless in a way.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously have a job to do, and it's a very important job if the system still work. But every defense lawyer is a human being. Also, for me to sit here and say that I didn't have personal feelings and that I didn't feel hurt and pain for the victims, that would be absurd to say that. Of course, it was very painful to be in that courtroom today.